Hello there. Today I will show you the recap of the 2019 Russian movie Soldier Boy. Spoiler alert, watch out and take care. The movie starts with Sergei, who was in the tree playing his game. He screamed to his mother and told her he is on the tree and talked to his brother Peter. As he stayed there, the enemy's helicopter flew by their city. His mother called out for him to hide, but he wasn't afraid and kept shooting his catapult at the helicopter. His mother left, and his brother also ran away. After the helicopter left, he called out for his mother to no avail. He came down from the tree and walked home and slept. The following day, he heard a knock on the door. He assumed it was his mother and hurriedly went to open the door. He met his auntie. She told him to pick up his stuff and move in with her. But Sergei refused. He said he was waiting for his mother, and he would take care of his mother's livestock till she came back. His aunt broke the bad news and told him his mother and brother had been killed, and if they found him there, he would be killed too. She tried to pick up some of his clothes, but the enemy soldiers arrived. She pushed him out the window and told him to run when she was shot immediately. While he kept screaming, "Mom!" he ran from home and watched his home from afar. They were burning their neighborhood. The little boy slept in the woods that night, and the following day, he went to the water to clean his face. As he was about to leave, he saw some soldiers coming. He hid in the woods from the soldiers and remained there while the soldiers set fire by the water. Courageous Sergei stayed hidden despite the snake walking around him. After the soldiers left, he went to their camp place and took the leftover cans. He continued his journey in the middle of nowhere and crashed to sleep beside a hedgehog that night. He asked the hedgehog to tell his people to rescue him as the hedgehog could walk faster than him. Then he fell asleep. While sleeping, some scouts on patrol found the cute little boy on the floor. The scout carried him and took him to their camp. Their commander, Kutzenov, at first was angry at the scouts for not going for their patrol. But when he saw the boy in their arms, he took Sergei from them immediately. They asked him about his parents, and he attempted to cry. Kutzenov told him men don't cry, and he shouldn't too. Without much time, word spread around the camp about the little boy. The chef brought him food to eat, and another soldier wrote a letter to get him clothes from the national body. Sergei was taken to the medics, where Nurse Katya treated him. He had an emotional conversation with Katya while getting his treatment, and Katya promised to draw him a tank. He asked how she knows so much about weapons, and she tells him she is from Tula, the city of gunsmiths. He asked Katya about Kutzenov, and asked if Kutzenov was in the war. Katya responded affirmatively, and also told him Kutzenov had been rewarded with an order and pistol for his valor. Emergency patients from the battlefield were brought to the clinic, so Katya left him to treat her patients. Later that day, Kutzenov came to visit him. He told him about his day, and Sergei said he also wanted to be a commander. He complained that the injection was painful, but he didn't cry because men don't cry, and asked Kutzenov if he got an order as a reward. He showed him his order and also showed him his pistol. In return, Sergei showed him the tank Katya drew for him and also drew a plane in his hand. Leaving the medics, Katya went to Kutzenov, begging him, telling him that Sergei was courageous and that they could train him there rather than take him to the orphanage home. Kutzenov refused. He said there was no way he would keep a 6-year-old kid on the battlefield, as the field isn't a place for kids. Katya begged him to no avail, so she gave up. Katya was still thinking about Sergei. She spoke to her colleague about Sergei and said ever since he got to their camp, she had found it difficult to sleep, and she felt that if he were taken to the orphanage, she wouldn't be able to see him again. Andrei and another soldier visited Sergei at the medics, and they went to him with apples and a binocular. He used the binocular to look at everything and everyone excitedly. Again, another soldier went to Kutzenov to persuade him to let Sergei remain at the camp. Kutzenov insisted that the issue had been completed as his paperwork had been sent to the national body, and the car was coming to pick him up. The Germans invaded their camp, and they all went to secure their front line. After they returned, the car to take Sergei away arrived. Kutzenov went to the medics and had a farewell conversation with Sergei. He told him a car had arrived to pick him up, and he gave him a toy honorary gun he had built for him. Sergei hugged him passionately and said he had been waiting so he could be sure Kutzenov wasn't killed. Kutzenov said it seemed the boy was the only one who cared about him, and asked him if he wanted to be his son. Sergei accepted to be commander's son, and Kutzenov tore the transfer letter. All the soldiers worked with Yakov the tailor to create little soldier clothes and boots for Sergei. Kutzenov challenged him to wear the fabric with one lit matchstick. but over 20 matchsticks were lit before he eventually put on his clothes. He came out excited in his soldier boy clothes. As he walked around the camp excitedly, the Germans sent an air hit to their base. Kuznetsov kept Sergei in a dug hole while they shot at the air hits sent to them. After the battle, Sergei went around the base looking for Kuznetsov and Katya and asking if they hadn't been killed. One soldier carried him and told him that on the battlefield one must always think about victory, so he should stop thinking about death and try to help them. He entered the medics and gave the injured people water. He read letters to the wounded people that asked for it and sang for some. He lifted the mood in the medics. After his song, most of the soldiers began to cry. He finally found Katya, and she made him lay on her lap until Kuznetsov got back from the battle. She told Kuznetsov that she had persuaded him to go to the commander's tent, but he refused and said he wouldn't go until Kuznetsov was back. Kuznetsov told Katya he had something to say to her. He was not prepared to talk, but as he tried to speak, Sergei woke up. He hugged his father, and Kuznetsov could no longer talk. So he told Katya he wanted to ask her to build another tent. Sergei and Kuznetsov went to their tent. On their way, Sergei told Kuznetsov that he helped the injured ones on the battle, and he told Kuznetsov that he would make sure he supported him during the war. He started his soldier's duty as the commander's orderly. The commander ordered him to deliver mail, and he delivered them successfully to all the soldiers. One day, while he was walking around the haystack with his binocular, he saw a leg moving in the haystack. He ran to Andrei to tell him this, and Andrei followed him to the haystack with 2 other soldiers. They caught 2 German soldiers who were sent to install ammunition. After this duty, he went to deliver mail. He returned to the commander's tent, and Kuznetsov told him he had gotten the official letter to adopt him. He hurriedly said they should show the letter to Katya, and told Kuznetsov that Katya had feelings for him, as he once seen her crying because Kuznetsov was injured. As they got to the waterside to meet Katya, they met her crying by the waterside. Then another soldier came to give her flowers and played with her. Kuznetsov left the waterside, and Sergei went to meet Katya. During the battle, Sergei wanted to help soldiers, and he also took ammo to them. He returned to the commander's dug hole, and he heard the commander shouting about the broken communication cable. The soldier who wanted to fix the cable went to the battlefield, and Sergei followed him. When a bomb injured the soldier, Sergei asked the soldier to direct him on how to fix the cable. He said it, and the communication was restored. That night after the battle, he went to a bonfire with a soldier. He asked them about love and marriage, and he was told that love could make someone sick and weak. The following day, he ran to Katya to tell her that Kuznetsov was sick. She ran back with him to treat Kuznetsov, but she figured he was fine. She ran away, and Kuznetsov followed her. He caught up with her and told her that Sergei wanted them to be together, and asked her to be Sergei's mother. While he was with her, he received a letter that their team had been transferred. During the journey the next morning, they stopped by a home to eat their meals. Sergei noticed the patched floor in the house and asked what was there. The homeowner told him it was the German ammo that fell into their home. Kuznetsov ordered his soldiers to remove the weapon, and they continued their journey. On their way, a bomb was detonated in their trucks. They waited and treated their injured soldiers before continuing on their journey. They met the platoon B troop and the general of the army. Kuznetsov told the general about the soldiers' worn-out outfits, but the general refused to order new wear. Sergei interfered in the conversation, so Kuznetsov asked them to get the names of the soldiers on worn-out clothes and boots. He got the names as soon as possible, and the general was amazed by his steadfastness, so he said he would order new wares. All the soldiers in the regiment were awarded for Guard Award, and Sergei got his award too. After the award, he went on a walk with his father, and the Germans attacked them. Kuznetsov's duck pit was ruined, so Sergei ran to call for help. Kuznetsov was saved and taken to the medics. In the ending, Sergei went to visit Kuznetsov crying, but Kuznetsov told him to wipe his tears, as men don't cry. 27th April 1943, Sergei was awarded for the Medal of Battle Valor, and he also took part in the Stalingrad battle together with his regiment in Poland. The commander's family became his family, and he eventually graduated from Suvorov Cadet School in Tula. Thank you for watching the recap. Kindly subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time.